Peace, peace. Hey, it's the Word Witch. I'm still having these like technical difficulties with my camera, but we gonna make it do what it do. So, right, that scene from Doctor Strange is so fire because it explains so much. She literally sits in front of him and explains how energy is harnessed and harvested from other dimensions to create shields, weapons, magic, she says. And as she snaps her fingers, you watch the gold come to him in different symbols and shapes and then dissipate into gold dust in front of his face. And as he's watching it, he has this look on his face like a child seeing a magic trick for the first time. He's like, but as it dissipates, so does his mood. You watch his face drop, and in comes the doubt. See, I mean, I'm sure Doctor Strange had some type of, subconscious forming or whatever. Remember, he was an extremely successful surgeon at this time. But now he's got no conscious blocks. He's worked with, tried everything up until this point that he knows that was within the dimensions that he was working within on how to fix himself. And he's come to this space where he believes that he is blocked, that the magic is somehow coming only from her fingers. And his response is, even if I could get my hands to do this. And the Ancient One understands and decides to teach him by way of pressure. She ain't got time for that shit. So what does she do? She conjures a portal and teleports Doctor Strange to the top of Mount Everest. You see him come out, he's shivering. And just as smug as you can fucking be. Most people lose motor function within 15 minutes, but you'll probably go into shock within 2. And then she fucking creates a portal and hightails it on his ass and leaves him on the top of Mount Everest. Now, let's think about this at this moment. Ain't no time for no jokey joke because she done touched his third eye and pushed this motherfucker out his whole body. If she say you got 2 minutes, you got 2 minutes, bitch. That's what it is. It's at facing an understanding that he's either gonna go into shock and die, or he's gonna try. He's gonna tap so hard into this thing that he's trying to do, harder than he's ever thought he was gonna tap into it, because it's out of a need of necessity at this point. Pressure. And here again we have the lesson that did Doctor Strange run up the mountain and go grab something and this is what allowed him to conjure his way? No. He just sit there and now he's there trying, circle barely sparking, barely sparking. Now on the other side of the portal, where the Ancient One has returned back to her temple, you see the other guy. He's gonna die. Let me go get him. And she keeps holding him back. Wait. Wait. And after some moments, what do you see? Doctor Strange taps in hard enough due to that pressure, and he conjures his teleportation portal back to the temple. He comes back through the portal, beard icy as hell. Ugh. But that pressure. See, now you gotta understand, now his dimensions are different than they have been for real in a long ass time. Because all what he knew and knew so well with the body, he did not understand the energy of the spiritual that was working with you. Now he is tapping in, he's seeing something that is like limitless. And what he needed to do that was divine pressure. Some of us, our soul has decided to enact certain experiences, and we actually know the amount of resistance that we need in order to get ourselves to this point of knowing for real who we are. And sometimes a lot of that divine pressure is going to really kind of look like suffering. It can. But what that's doing is it's pressurizing you. You have the control of your will. It's either going to bust your pipe or it's going to create a diamond. It's going to create something in you didn't understand was in you. And you were like, what? Because when he conjured that shit, he probably was like, what the fuck? She said it wasn't even nothing in the tea. It was that it was enough pressure. But I need you to think about it. He also needed the pressure of the car accident. He needed the pressure of all that time trying to look for solutions and going through the motions and none of them working. All of that was the part of the process to get to get resident medical doctor to Doctor Strange. All of that is what he needed for him to understand, right? But it's not a waste of his medical knowledge. It's not a waste of his anatomy, because when she shows him a book, it's showing anatomy, but it's just in explaining it on a deeper level, right down there on a quantum level for him. And at first he's so opposed. He's so opposed to that next step that's going to create the pressure that is going to have this motherfucker floating in the air, really tapping into his multidimensional self. So when your pressure arrives, please see it as a divine gift. And hopefully you got an ancient one to guide your ass through. Peace.
Of antiquity called the use of this language spells. But if that word offends your modern sensibilities, you can call it a program. The source code that shapes reality. We harness energy drawn from other dimensions of the multiverse to cast spells, to conjure shields and weapons, to make magic.
Even if my fingers could do that, my hands would just be waving in the air. I mean, how do I get from here to there?
How did you get to reattach severed nerves and put a human spine back together, bone by bone?
Study and practice, years of it.
Come with me.
Wait, is this?
Everest. Beautiful.
Yeah, right. Beautiful. Freezing, but beautiful.
At this temperature, a person can last for 30 minutes before suffering permanent loss of function.
Great.
But you'll likely go into shock within the first 2.
What?
Surrender, Stephen.
No!